Tonight, indicted on manslaughter charges. After prosecutors initially dropped the case last year, the developing news as we come on the air, Alec Baldwin indicted by a grand jury for involuntary manslaughter over that deadly Rush shooting. We'll have the details. And after back-to-back storms, the bitter cold gripping much of the country, Arctic temperatures plunging communities into dangerous and freezing conditions, and the deaths blamed on the weather. Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We begin with the deadly cross-country storm moving through the Northeast. 140 million people are under winter weather alerts. This is the second snowstorm this week alone to hit Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and New York. At this hour, there are winter weather alerts from the Midwest to Florida all the way up the East Coast. Snow, ice, and new brutal cold. And after days of this winter weather, at least 50 people have died across 13 states. The system, a travel nightmare for millions driving and flying. A small commuter plane making an emergency landing on the highway just after taking off from Dulles Airport. 2 pilots, 5 passengers on board. Buffalo, meantime, digging out from under 5 feet of snow this week. Volunteers again being asked to help dig out Highmark Stadium before Sunday's playoff game between the Chiefs and the Bills. And behind all of this, that new Arctic blast sweeping across the country. Wind chills well below freezing from Dallas to Chicago to New York tomorrow. Rob Marciano standing by, but first, Ariel Reshef leads us off from New Jersey.
Tonight, that passenger plane making an emergency landing on a busy Virginia highway in the middle of a snowstorm.
246 on the ground.
246, you say you're on the ground?
On the ground, we just landed.
The Southern Airways Express flight departed Dulles Airport shortly before 1 p.m., headed for Pennsylvania with 7 people on board, declaring a mayday just minutes after takeoff. Witnesses praising the pilot expertly landing the plane under traffic lights. Jesse LaBelle says it flew right over him.
Heard a loud noise, thinking my car blew up or something. And I look up and there's a plane 20 feet above me and lands 30 feet in front of me.
Good Samaritans rushing to make sure everyone was okay. Our Ike Ajachi on scene.
Take a look. You can see that plane that's been down right behind me. The FAA is currently on scene investigating what could have possibly caused this emergency.
Amazingly, no one injured. That same winter system slamming major cities along the East Coast. Up to half a foot of snow falling in Philadelphia.
An emergency snow declaration in effect here in Philly. You can see the city skyline completely obscured by the snow. This is the second snowstorm in just a week. This city on pace to more than double the amount of snow it's seen so far this season. After days of brutal weather, the death toll rising nationwide. At least 50 people killed across 13 states. And we're learning more about the 5 family members, all women, tragically killed Tuesday on Interstate 81 north of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Karwan Zabari lost 2 sisters, Beravin and Havriest, and his niece, Aline.
When we spoke to the coroner and the state trooper, they called it a freak accident, very unlucky, where everything that could go wrong went wrong.
That is just awful for that family. Ariel joins me now from New Jersey, where a state of emergency remains in effect for this winter weather. And Ariel, let's get back to that emergency landing in Virginia. What are you learning about the investigation?
Well, Phil, we know the NTSB is investigating reports that the engine may have lost power just after takeoff. They towed that plane off of the highway, and of course, it is a miracle no one was hurt. Phil.
Ariel Reshef from Fort Lee, New Jersey tonight. Ariel, thank you. All right, now let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, who's tracking this for us. Rob.
Hey, Phil, look, it's going to be a tough weekend as far as the cold is concerned. More brutal stuff coming in behind this latest snowstorm. We got wind chill advisories all the way back into the Mid-South and hard freeze warnings down to the Gulf of Mexico. Tomorrow morning in Dallas, it'll feel about 12 degrees with the wind, -2 in Nashville, and -14 on Sunday morning in Chicago, Philly, D.C., even New York. Whatever snow has fallen will remain through the weekend. But after that, it looks like we're going to get into a pattern change, and that will bring more warmth and above average temperatures really for the entire country, but more so east of the Mississippi, so a lot of that snow will be melting. Meanwhile, in the west, the Pacific is getting active. We got a series of rainstorms that will be spiraling in, some mountain snow, but rain for California. So keep the Rain jacket and umbrella handy in the west, and keep the hat and gloves in reach in the eastern two-thirds of the country, at least for this weekend, but there is some hope coming next week. Phil?
All right, hope is a good thing. Rob, thanks so much. A new legal battle for actor Alec Baldwin 9 months after charges against him were dismissed. He is now facing a new charge of involuntary manslaughter for that deadly shooting on the Rust movie set. Baldwin was holding the gun when cinematographer Helena Hutchins was shot and killed rehearsing a scene. Baldwin insists he never pulled the trigger. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
This is a crime scene?
Exactly 1 year after Alec Baldwin was initially charged in the Rust movie shooting and later saw the case dropped, tonight, the actor charged yet again with involuntary manslaughter.
I was the one holding the gun, yeah. Okay.
A New Mexico grand jury indicting the actor in the October 2021 death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins, killed when the revolver Baldwin was rehearsing with fired a live bullet. Back in April, special prosecutors dropping initial charges against the actor after sources say the gun was determined to be mechanically improper. But nearly 6 months later, after receiving new analysis of that gun and expert testimony, prosecutors announcing they would seek to recharge him, saying additional facts have come to light that show Mr. Baldwin has criminal culpability. In an interview with George Stephanopoulos weeks after the shooting, Baldwin adamant he did not pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
Tonight, Baldwin's lawyer saying in a statement, we look forward to our day in court.
Kana joins us now. Kana, how are prosecutors building their case against Baldwin?
It's interesting, Phil. Moving forward, it's twofold here. They plan to present two alternative theories to the jury here. One, that Baldwin was reckless in how he handled the gun, or two, that he was negligent. Either way, Phil, they do plan on having this trial sometime this year.
All right, Kana Wentworth for us tonight. Kana, thank you. Down south now to Florida, where another air scare took place. A Boeing 747 cargo jet with one engine on fire just after takeoff from Miami International Airport. Flames could be seen shooting from the engine, the pilot declaring a mayday, requesting clearance to land right away. Once on the ground, a hole was found above the engine. ABC's Victor Akendo has the details.
Oh my God, it's on fire.
Tonight, the terrifying scene in the skies over Miami.
I hope they're okay.
Melanie Aderos recording this video while out on a walk with her mother.
I didn't know if those were pieces of plane falling off, if it was going to explode or fall out of the sky.
The sparks shooting out from the engine of an Atlas Air cargo plane just minutes after it departed Miami International Airport after 10 p.m. Thursday for Puerto Rico.
Mayday, Giant 095, heavy engine fire. Request access back to the airport.
The Boeing 747 with 5 people on board.
Giant 95 heavy, which engine, and is it out already, or you guys are still trying to work that out? It's engine number 2.
Tonight, an FAA incident report revealing a softball-sized hole above the number 2 engine. Atlas Air saying in a statement that the crew followed all standard procedures and safely returned to the airport. This plane, different from the Boeing MAX 9s, grounded earlier this month after a door plug detached 16,000 feet in the air. Following this latest incident, the jet maker facing increasing scrutiny. The FAA and NTSB are investigating. Tonight, Boeing says it is supporting Atlas Air and the investigation. Phil?
Victor Akendo from Miami. Victor, thank you. And now to the race for the White House and a major development just 4 days out from the New Hampshire primary. ABC's Rachel Scott in New Hampshire.
Tonight, just 4 days before the New Hampshire primary, a big boost for Donald Trump. An endorsement from his former rival, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
Pay attention, listen closely, and let's talk about 4 more years.
It's a blow to Nikki Haley. She was the South Carolina governor who actually appointed Scott to his Senate seat. But now Scott, who is the nation's top black Republican elected official, is going for Trump.
So good to see you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. We'll get everybody out on Tuesday. Tell everybody you know.
Haley's team once predicting a landslide win in New Hampshire, now lowering expectations.
The road is never going to stop here in New Hampshire. That's always been the plan. Strong in Iowa, stronger in New Hampshire, and even stronger in South Carolina.
Haley has been under relentless attack from Trump.
She's not going to make it. She has no chance. She's got no way. MAGA's not going to be with her.
But she has largely held off attacking him. I asked her if that was a mistake. Should you have gone after Trump harder?
We had 14 people in the race at one time. This was never about, it was about how do you get the field smaller. We now have the field to where it's a two-person race. Now that it's a two-person race, we're talking about the contrast.
Trailing far behind Haley and Trump here in New Hampshire, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He's now staking his campaign on a strong showing in the South Carolina primary, more than a month from now.
Governor DeSantis, standing here today, do you believe that you can defeat Donald Trump and become the Republican nominee?
As long as I'm in the hunt, that tells me that I have that I'm seeing a pathway. The minute I don't, then I'm not just going to do this for just for my health.
And Rachel joins us now. Rachel, DeSantis standing firm, it seems. Do you know if he has any plans beyond South Carolina right now?
Well, I got to tell you, Phil, we did ask him what his path to the nomination is, what state he believes that he could win. He would not answer either one of those questions. So here is what we know. The Florida governor will spend the final weekend before the New Hampshire primary campaigning in South Carolina. And tonight it is unclear if he will return back to the state before the results come in on Tuesday night, Phil.
All right, Rachel Scott, Manchester, New Hampshire. Rachel, thank you. All right, now let's bring in ABC News political director Rick Klein. Rick, it's always good to see you. Let's start with this. Senator Scott's endorsement. How big a win is that for the former president?
Yeah, Phil, I'll tell you, this is one of the most coveted endorsements that existed on the field. I've talked to insiders inside the Trump campaign. They have been hoping for this. They have been lobbying for this, and they feel like this could be a decisive blow to Nikki Haley's campaign in particular. Keep in mind, Senator Scott only has his job as a senator because he was appointed to that job initially by Nikki Haley when she was governor. And that South Carolina primary is so critical. Just a month after New Hampshire is probably the next big contest on the agenda. And we've already seen such competition for South Carolina. This is a big one in the world of endorsements. He has a lot of credibility inside his state and beyond. And I think it's going to draw some big crowds for former President Trump down the stretch.
Nikki Haley has been showing real momentum heading into New Hampshire, going into the Iowa primaries at the start of the week. But how is she looking now?
Yeah, look, I think these things ebb and flow pretty quickly. And I was just out on the trail with her for over the last couple of days in New Hampshire. And, you know, the crowd sizes are there. They're not like off the hook great. She's there with the very popular Republican governor, Chris Sununu. She opted not to participate in the debate that we had scheduled at ABC News that would have been held last night. I know Ron DeSantis is making a lot of that on the trail today, trying to find other ways to reach voters through town halls and other kind of retail stops around the state. She's got a lot of ground to make up. There's been a round of polling in the last few days that show her down double digits plus to Donald Trump. And we've seen critically, I think, Governor Sununu himself downgrade expectations. Once he said that there would be a landslide victory for Nikki Haley. Now he's saying that all she needs is a solid second. And that is a big difference. Solid second and landslide, not close.
Right. And Governor Ron DeSantis seems to be putting all of his hopes on South Carolina. How does that look for him?
Yeah, this is, I think, a signal to his donors and his supporters that he has a path beyond New Hampshire, right? He is not going to do well in all likelihood in the New Hampshire primary on Tuesday, and he knows that. He's been in the state a little bit, and he was back today, but he's spending just as much time, if not more, in South Carolina. And I do think that is a signal that he thinks he can be competitive right on Nikki Haley's home turf. And if you play this out a little bit, whatever happens in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley has to basically win her home state of South Carolina to retain credibility. And DeSantis is trying to tell anyone to listen right now that he is in play in that state, and he is not ready to cede any ground to Nikki Haley.
And finally, Rick, this week, the former president, as we watched, has alternated between campaigning in New Hampshire and attending his trial dealing with penalties in the E. Jean Carroll case, the defamation case. How was all this time in the courtroom playing out with voters?
Yeah, it's kind of flipped the script, Phil, because usually candidates want to spend as much time on the trail as possible. But what Donald Trump has learned is that he gets as much attention and as much messaging out of legal affairs when he attends to them as he does on the trail. And he has turned his legal strategy into a political one and this political strategy into a legal strategy. They are one and the same. And he has been attending various proceedings, sometimes by choice, not because he has to be there, but because he wants to be there. He likes to then fundraise off the fact that he says he needed to be there, even though that's not the case. And look, we used to think you had to press the flesh, you had to be out there talking to people in the States, but Donald Trump has shown that that appears not to be the case. And yes, he has campaigned relatively lightly compared to the others, but what he has done has been in the news quite a bit in court.
All right, Rick Klein, certainly a lot to keep an eye on as Tuesday's New Hampshire primary approaches. Rick, thanks as always.
Thanks, Bill. You bet.
Some shocking accusations today in the case against former President Trump as the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis accused the estranged wife of a special prosecutor of interfering in the case. A motion filed last week by a defense attorney in the election case alleges that Willis was romantically involved with attorney Nathan Wade. A lawyer for Willis wrote in a filing Thursday that Wade's wife, Jocelyn Wade, served a subpoena to the district attorney last week. The filing accuses Jocelyn Wade of having, quote, conspired with interested parties in the criminal election interference case to use the civil discovery process to annoy, embarrass, and oppress the district attorney. The families of more than 100 hostages still being held by Hamas are afraid time is now running out to secure their release. Tonight, we are hearing from a 13-year-old former hostage whose father is still being held by Hamas. He shared chilling details about his time in captivity with ABC's Matt Gutman, who's reporting in tonight from Israel.
Tonight, if 13-year-old Yagil Yaakov fears for his father's life, that's because he knows what he's going through. Yagil himself had been a hostage in Gaza for over 50 days until he was released in November. On October 7th, entire families were carted into Gaza. Yagil, his brother, his father Yair, and stepmother all taken. His mother Renana on the phone with her boys when they were kidnapped, hearing everything.
The last thing I heard him say on the phone, when the phone was still on, was, you contact me, I'm too young.
Yagil says they marched him out. He says, they took me out with a knife held to my throat, and I was in my boxers. They put me on a motorcycle. For 30 days, he was held alone by a family in Gaza. At one point, the Islamic Jihad produced a proof-of-life video of him. He says, I hope that I come back as soon as possible. Just before Yagil was released, he reunited with his stepmother and his brother.
What was it like to see your brother again after 52 days? Crazy.
The two walking hand in hand to the Red Cross. But the boy's father, Yair, who was wounded on October 7th, is still being held.
We want these people to get back home alive.
Matt joins us now from Tel Aviv. Matt, Netanyahu is also getting some pushback from a member of his own cabinet.
Some significant pushback, Phil. A member of the war cabinet going on Israel's news magazine program and basically saying and openly criticizing Netanyahu. Now, this man was the former head of the army whose son was killed in fighting in Gaza. He now is saying that Hamas is not going to be destroyed, that the only way to bring the hostages home is through a deal with Hamas. And when asked towards the end of the interview if he thought that the Israeli government was being truthful with the public, he said no. Phil.
All right, Matt Gutman from Tel Aviv tonight. Matt, thank you. Meantime, the U.S. has launched a new airstrike on Houthi rebels in Yemen, the fourth by U.S. forces just this week. U.S. Navy warships are in the region protecting commercial shipping and acting as a deterrent to further attacks. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more from on board a U.S. destroyer in the eastern Mediterranean.
Tonight, the U.S. launching a new series of strikes against Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen.
This is the fourth preemptive action that the U.S. military has taken in the past week against Houthi missile launchers that were ready to launch attacks.
The Houthis have launched more than 30 attacks at commercial shipping since late November, including 2 this week that damaged U.S.-owned transport ships in the Red Sea. Trying to prevent a wider regional war is why the U.S. has more than a dozen Navy ships patrolling Middle Eastern waters. The U.S. Navy takes us to the USS Arleigh Burke, a guided missile destroyer in the Mediterranean.
This destroyer is nearly identical to the one the Navy has right now in the Red Sea. On board, you can see they have torpedoes, they have Harpoon missiles, and underneath this launch pad, they have Tomahawks ready to launch at a moment's notice.
We're shown the crew drilling, often with just minutes to intercept an incoming missile. Is deterrence working in this war?
So deterrence does work. Sometimes it doesn't. It's not a zero-sum game, but it minimizes the overall impact by reminding our allies and partners that we're here to support them.
And Phil, the Burke, alongside this ship we're on now, the USS Bataan, can carry roughly 2,500 Marines and Navy sailors, and together they combine to make a strike group ready to go at a moment's notice. Phil.
All right, Maggie Rulli tonight. Maggie, thank you. Back here in the U.S., President Biden forgiving another $5 billion in student loan debt. The Biden administration canceling student loan payments for roughly 74,000 people, more than half of them public servants, including teachers, nurses, and firefighters. The White House says it now has canceled student loan debt for more than 3.7 million Americans. And a milestone to tell you about, landing on the moon tonight. Japan has become the 5th country to land a spacecraft on the lunar surface. The celebration, though, was short-lived. The power supply for that unmanned craft is not working, meaning unless the problem is fixed remotely, the battery will run out soon. There is still much more to get to here tonight on Prime. Why the Panama Canal is facing a major slowdown in the threat of global shipping. But next, the Air Force now catalogs them. Congress held hearings on them. Are alien UFOs real? Our Megan Wright digs into the facts and the legends.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines, from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about, the new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. We turn now to a potentially otherworldly story. In this vast universe full of undiscovered stars and galaxies, the question, are we really alone? The search for aliens has fascinated us throughout history, re-emerging in the halls of Congress with recent testimony. Now hear from those who claim they were contacted by the other kind. ABC's Megan Wright with the story.
It was like looking into 2 pools of black oil. And I'm just staring at him, and he's just staring at me, and I'm scared to death. I was paralyzed on this table, and I turned around, and this being was standing right here.
For nearly 5 decades, Sev Tak says she's been contacted by aliens. Some bad, some good.
My very first memories of ET contact are from the age 10. I would find myself outside in the middle of the night, and I would see a spaceship coming. And each time it came from a different location. And it would come and hover right over me, and it was so big that I couldn't even see the sky.
Little green men, flying saucers, unexplained bright lights that appear out of nowhere. Tales of aliens and UFOs have captivated the masses since the 1940s.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
The intrigue and obsession surrounding these otherworldly beings, becoming one of the most popular topics in science fiction, spurring movies, like The Day the Earth Stood Still. E.T. the extraterrestrial.
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
This long-standing debate of extraterrestrial life, a hot topic among scholars.
Aliens exist because to think otherwise is arrogant.
If you're going to say we are alone in the universe, that would be an expression of ego that has no justification whatsoever.
Whether you're a believer or not, skepticism remains.
In science, we try not to use the word proof. We say, how good is the evidence? Right now, there's no evidence no convincing evidence that we have made contact with life outside of the Earth.
I've always wondered what could be out there. Are we really alone in the universe? So we're heading out to see what we can find. An hour-and-a-half north of Vegas is Extraterrestrial Highway, with tourist stops designed to reel in alien and UFO fanatics. First stop, a little store called E.T. Fresh Jerky.
Where did you get the jerky from?
Well, I like to tell folks I get it from my alien overlords. It comes from all the animals that have been abducted. They just need a human face to sell for them.
Her customers come from all over the globe, all hoping to get a glimpse at something otherworldly in the area. Namely from Area 51, a military base long associated with ET sightings.
The rumor is whatever crash landed in Roswell in 1947, they brought up to our military base. Supposedly, and this is rumor, they reverse engineered whatever they found, then we had a massive technology boom right after.
The search for alien life.
It doesn't matter to me if anyone believes me or not. I know what I saw.
And speculations on possible ET intervention here on Earth have spanned the dawn of time.
And it was a perfect triangle just floating across the sky, way up there.
You could see straight through it, totally silent.
I could see like some shape of a dark dome.
In 1947, perhaps the most infamous case of them all.
The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers.
A rancher from Roswell, New Mexico, claims to have discovered debris, including mysterious metallic-looking scraps on his property.
What we know is probably that it was a weather balloon incident, but a lot of lore has risen up around that and around especially secure areas in the American West, where people then ask a lot of questions about what's really happening there.
Experts say it was likely a weather balloon, but that did little to quiet the claims of a cover-up, that the remnants of the crash site were taken to a classified location, Area 51. A U.S. military base in the middle of the Nevada desert. The facility, the focus of a number of theories about possible alien life.
If Area 51 had aliens, do you think the government could actually keep that a secret? Ask yourself, how competent do you think the U.S. government really is in maintaining a secret where dozens, perhaps hundreds of people would have to be in on the secret? That's extraordinary.
Then this summer, questions surrounding possible alien life peaking with bombshell testimony by David Grush, a former U.S. intelligence official and member of the U.S. Air Force.
Biologics came with some of these recoveries.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
The former Air Force intelligence officer alleging the unconfirmed existence of a secret UFO recovery program sanctioned by the government.
So when Congress is holding hearings investigating the questions of unidentified aerial phenomenon, those are really questions about national security, questions about overflight, not so much about something overflying in space.
Nowadays, there are 10,000 satellites, many of which are communication satellites, and a lot of people mistake them for anomalous objects, and there are many drones.
According to a 2023 report by a UFO study team convened by NASA, they found no evidence of extraterrestrial origins for any reported sightings. For years, Sev Tak kept quiet about her experiences.
I learned very quickly not to say anything because it just wasn't received well.
Trying to grapple with the unknown left a mark, literally.
So I had 2 exes. I never thought in a million years I'd go on TV and show my tush like this. Never in a million years.
2 X's, one on each cheek, branded by what she claims were ETs.
So there's an X here and an X here.
She's now on a mission to spread a message she claims she received from her ET encounters.
I was told that we are headed down the path of annihilation, and that's why the hybridization program is happening, and where they take DNA from human beings and mix it with their DNA, and they're creating embryos. Those embryos would be used to reseed this planet. But I was also told that it's not definite. We could still turn ourselves around.
The U.S. government says there is no proof of extraterrestrial life. But for others, the answer is not so black and white.
Why should aliens even be interested in us? I worry that we haven't offered sufficient intelligence to interest them, or for them to count us among their own ranks. I lose sleep over that.
It's an interesting perspective. Maybe they aren't interested in us. There's still much more to get to tonight. Coming up, Lindsay's conversation with filmmaker Ava DuVernay about her film based on the best-selling book Caste, a look deep into the country's racial divide. But next, with back-to-back winter storms, we are tracking record cold temperatures and snowfall by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine,
Close to the front line.
from the capital.
destructive Cat 4 storm.
We're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
First thing in the morning
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
to catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about, the new ad campaign
Fast, straightforward,
with some fun in between.
a real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning
America's #1 early morning news.
on ABC News Live.
Look up. There's got to be something out there.
We were shocked, scared to death. Oh, wow. My name is Kat Patterson, and I am an alien abductee.
Extraterrestrial intelligence? Aliens?
We are getting closer to the gravel road that is supposed to lead us to Area 51. Okay.
Are we alone? It's about time now to find out the answer.
Aliens, Are We Alone? Now streaming on Hulu. Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA3. Ready. What you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. A good portion of the country is in the middle of an Arctic blast right now, with some areas of the East Coast getting an inch of snow for the first time in years. So let's take a look by the numbers. 140 million Americans are under winter alerts heading into this weekend. Chicago could see wind chills of -17 this weekend. And this week saw a series of snowless streaks come to an end. Washington, D.C.'s 728-day snow drought ended with 3.4 inches on Monday. Nashville got a record daily snowfall of 6.3 inches. That, by the way, is more snow than Nashville normally gets in an entire winter. Philadelphia's drought lasted 715 days, and the 1 inch of snow this week in New York ended a 701-day streak since an inch of snow was measured in Central Park. In that time, by the way, New York City has picked up 103 inches of rain. Buffalo has seen 172 inches of snow, and the Earth has traveled more than 1.1 billion miles through space. Bundle up this weekend and enjoy all that snow, or catch some sun and warm weather depending on where you live in the country. Just enjoy it. And there is still much more to get to here tonight on Prime. The latest trend in grocery shopping that could be good for your wallet and the environment. It's no prank how the FBI is cracking down on swatting.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed.
Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland,
From Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation.
You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Raleigh, North Carolina. The U.S. Capitol. Mayfield, Kentucky.
Minneapolis.
Mexico.
Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
What's happening today? YouTube has unveiled a new set of policies.
What people are talking about. The new ad campaign.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
A real-life Barbie dream house.
A name change for the Wienermobile.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live. This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
We're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed.
Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland.
Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
Can I hug you?
Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. What a new study reveals about multivitamins and memory. Could this be the end for the iconic Sports Illustrated magazine? And Dolly Parton gives her fans a present for her birthday. Those stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
Swatting on the rise. More than 500 incidents since last May, says the FBI. That's when the Bureau set up a command center to collaborate with law enforcement partners to track swatting incidents in real time. Swatting is when someone makes a prank call reporting a serious criminal threat, usually to 911, in order to get police and SWAT teams to respond to a victim's home. Some recent well-known targets include 2 judges overseeing Trump trials, Senator Rick Scott, and even the White House, where dozens of fire units responded to a false call about a suspected fire.
Dipping water levels could cost between $500 million and $700 million this year, says the Panama Canal Administrator. One of the most severe droughts causing a traffic jam of ships, raising concerns about its effect on global trade. An alternative would be a Red Sea route in the Mideast, but that's more risky now with attacks on shipping by Iran-backed rebels in Yemen. Canal officials are hoping for a good rainy season that starts in April.
The future of Sports Illustrated is now up in the air. The publisher of the magazine laid off most of its writers and editors today. Authentic Brands Group bought the magazine and website back in 2019 and sold the publishing rights to a company called Arena Group. But Arena Group recently missed a payment for those publishing rights, and ABG revoked them. There's no word yet on what is next for the publication.
Millions of Americans take them every day, and now there's evidence multivitamins can have an impact on memory. According to the CDC, nearly 58% of all adults in the U.S. take a multivitamin, and a new study says they may be a key to better memory in older age. It looked at older adults with an average age of about 70 years old and found that people who took multivitamins daily for 2 years, compared to those who took a placebo, had a memory that was equivalent to someone nearly 5 years younger. It also helped prevent cognitive decline. Researchers are not sure which specific vitamins led to the improvement. Health officials stress that multivitamins should not take the place of a healthy diet, but may be beneficial for those who do not have an adequate diet.
Prince Harry has dropped his libel suit against the tabloid The Daily Mail. This comes weeks after a judge ruled the Duke of Sussex would have to pay for the Daily Mail's more than $60,000 in legal fees if he lost the case. Prince Harry sued the paper over an article that claimed he was trying to hide his effort to get the UK's government to pay for his protection after he stopped being a working royal. He said this attacked his honesty and his integrity.
It's Dolly Parton's birthday, but we're the ones getting a present with this newly released cover. The 78-year-old singer unexpectedly announcing the release of new music. It's a deluxe version of her Rockstar album. It has 5 bonus tracks and 4 never-before-heard songs. Dolly writing to social media, "I hope you all have a happy birthday for me."
2023 was a busy year for our next guest. You know her from Joyride and Shortcomings, but now she's kicking off 2024 with the final season of Good Trouble. Take a look.
Silas came into my room to scare me into not looking for Madison.
I should have protected her. I'll save you now.
I saw you and Brayden making out.
Everybody thinks that you're cheating on me.
Maybe we should rethink moving in together. Alice,
I will not enable you. I didn't ask to live here.
will there be any other big announcements?
All right, and Sherry Cola is in studio with us right now. Sherry, thanks so much. It's so good to see you. Want to talk about the series, about Alice and what's happening in the series. This is the final year.
So, Good Trouble. It's been 88 victorious episodes. Amazing. And it's the end of an era. You know, the final season is airing as we speak on Freeform, next day on Hulu, and I'm so proud of the show. it's helped me evolve into a better person. You know, my character, Alice Kwan, she's queer, and her conversation around, you know, just being comfortable in her own skin. And, you know, we've explored so much through this show. We had a Stop Asian Hate arc. We explored, you know, what happens behind closed doors between two women in a relationship. Like, it's risky, you know? And we've also had a Lunar New Year episode. You know, I'm so grateful. I got to work with Margaret Cho in season 3. Like, I'm just beyond lucky to be a part of something like Good Trouble, where I learned so much. And, you know, we really just talked about real stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alice is part of this eclectic community. Let's just take one more look.
If you wish to break your chains before you go loca, flee to where the psycho sleeps with tapioca. My boba pillow.
Hey! Can you stop jerking me around?
Sorry. It's so funny because that's Carol Wang, who plays Sumi, my best friend / girlfriend on the show. And we met through the show, but we've become close since. And now we have to kiss. And it's so weird.
Oh, that's so weird because
Every
you become
single
friends
time
now?
we do it. It is like kissing your sister. There was a scene that was quite intimate.
Yep.
And let's just say there was a lot of eyes closed and holding your breath.
Right. I'm wondering how much of yourself do you see in Alice, and how much of yourself did you bring to Alice? The role?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been bisexual my whole life, honestly. And, you know, my inner circle knew about it, yada, yada, but I'd never had the conversation with my own mom until I booked the role of Alice. Because I thought, okay, this character could potentially be a role model. So let me liberate myself in, you know, real life. And
that's remarkable.
Ever since then, you know, I've been so open about talking about queerness, and hopefully that creates some sort of inspiration for others, you know, to feel comfortable in their own skin. That's why representation matters. Because I got this opportunity to play Alice, I can now, you know, be here talking to you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and be what Alice was written to be, but
Absolutely.
you were as well, which is really, really amazing. So look, we started our conversation when I met you today by you saying, hey, Happy New Year, how's your New Year going? And I mean, Joyride, Shortcomings, you've got Tiger's Apprentice coming up, which is really exciting. Things are kind of clicking for you right now.
I'm feeling really just fulfilled and humbled by everything I've been able to accomplish, because like I said before our interview, I was born in Shanghai, and this really is the American dream. I never could have, you know, even thought of being on a billboard, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be a part of Joyride, which is so unapologetic and groundbreaking, and to be a part of Shortcomings, you can see it on Netflix February 1st, and now Tiger's Apprentice, okay? This is a star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Like, these are idols. Lucy Liu, Sandra Oh,
Right.
Michelle Yeoh. I have chills.
Right.
Like, to even speak my name in the same sentence, like, who am I, where am I?
Looking forward to it. Sherry Cole, thank you so much. Such a joy to meet you and get to talk to you about your exciting adventures. Final season of Good Trouble. Yep, kiss goodbye. Final season of Good Trouble is streaming now on Hulu.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you too. With the high cost of groceries, a new strategy to save money while shopping has taken off on social media. The 6-to-1 method is helping some shoppers save hundreds of dollars every month. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with details.
It's the viral strategy saving some grocery shoppers time and money.
Let me show you my favorite way to grocery shop on a budget in 30 minutes.
Meet the 6-to-1 method, influencer Will Coleman's creation, where each week you buy 6 veggies, 5 fruits, 4 proteins, 3 starches, 2 sauces, 1 fun thing for yourself, and that's it.
What was behind the idea of this method?
I just wanted to take control of my wallet and my time and just figure out a way to be strategic when it comes to the normal thing of grocery shopping, something we all have to do.
Coleman says he spends between $80 and $90 per week using the 6-to-1 method on groceries for his household of 2, almost half of what the typical couple spends every week.
The 6-to-1 method has saved me hundreds of dollars because you come in the grocery store with a plan. You're not just shopping for anything.
Tiara Smith says the method helped cut back spending cash on takeout.
It forces me to save even more money because I'm not going to eat out because I have food at home that I know I can cook.
We decided to give the 6-to-1 method a try.
This definitely counts as 1 fruit, right?
For me, 6 fresh vegetables felt like a lot to use before they spoiled.
Okay, we'll do some broccoli. Why not?
I opted for some frozen options.
Good for the kids.
And my one fun item, coffee. It was non-negotiable. My bill coming out to just under $100. Nutritionists say the plan, which is heavy in produce, also has health benefits.
I always feel like we can all stand to have more plants in our pattern of eating. So this breakdown really encourages people to eat their fruits and veggies.
Which is always a good thing. All right, Elizabeth, thank you. Cast, The Origins of Our Discontents, became a best-selling book after its 2020 release, challenging the world's view of what racism really is. Author and journalist Isabel Wilkerson's life and her process of researching for this book is now a critically acclaimed film, Origin, helmed by Selma director Ava DuVernay. Our Lindsay Davis sat down with DuVernay to talk about the film and the new pathway she used for funding and the Oscar race.
You don't escape trauma by ignoring it. You escape trauma by confronting it. I don't write questions. I write answers.
So, the first time you read Cast, are you thinking right away, this could be a movie?
Absolutely not. Cast is a beautiful book by Isabel Wilkerson that is basically an anthropological thesis. You know, it's talking about, you know, ideas writ large, a lot of facts, figures, anecdotes, but no character. Usually when I read a book and I see a character, I think there's a movie in there. This didn't have that, but when I read it the second time, I started to hear her voice. She writes in the first person in certain spaces, and I started to become intrigued with her as a person, and then eventually as a character who could lead us through the thesis of the book.
I'm Isabel.
Yeah, I know.
And how did you ultimately learn about her personal life beyond just the journalist, but as the wife and the daughter, and then decide, I need to marry this with that thesis?
Well, as I was, you know when you watch a movie or you read a book and you want to know more about the person, or I Googled her, and I'd learned that she had suffered some losses, personal losses in her life. When I reached out to her to ask her if she might be interested in my adaptation of the book, and she was very gracious and generous in opening up her personal life to me so that I could tell the story of what she really cared about, which was Cast, and to get that out there. And so it was kind of, the film is two trains running. It's that personal story of her personal loss and our collective loss, which is the story that she wanted to tell.
Most relationships end. Friendships, romances.
And we hear her in the movie quoting to her editor, racism as the primary language to explain everything is insufficient.
Yes.
That seems to be the premise then upon which the book and therefore the movie is built on. How did you go about taking that theme and turning it into a movie?
Well, the investigation, the unfolding of the mystery of how do we get from race, everything is race, to she had an inkling there's something else there that she wanted to dig into, and she starts to study caste, and she travels the world to gather examples. But one of the things that she told me in my interviews with her was that the Trayvon Martin case was the impetus, the spark to start to think about, wait, everyone's calling that race, but it doesn't quite fit in the box. You have a Latino killer of a black boy, and the assault is in protection of a white community. Well, how's that race? How does that, and so that started to get her as an author and an investigator and a former reporter intrigued, and she went and she set about trying to figure it out.
Have you heard the tapes?
No. Of what?
Stafford Police Department, this is Sean. Hey, we've had some break-ins in my neighborhood, and there's a real suspicious guy. Looks like he's up to no good or something.
Doing it without a studio, do you think you've created this new pathway?
Well, you know, independent filmmaking it has a long legacy, but for me, in terms of the way we raise the money, we raise the money through philanthropic organizations, through nonprofits that have the same mission as the movie, which is, you know, justice and dignity for all and to fight for our freedoms. And so instead of going to a studio to create the budget, we went to these organizations and said, would you ever be interested in doing a film?
Tell us about the history that you made at the Venice Film Festival.
Well, you know, this is the world's oldest film festival, and it is one that has not seen an African-American woman in competition. And while, yes, it was a beautiful moment when it happened, it was very bittersweet in terms of the absence that My First really highlights. That in the world's oldest film festival, that in 2023 was the first time it was deemed, I don't know, worthy to have an African-American woman in competition, which is ridiculous when we know all of the incredible work that had been done before. So these moments, these first moments, you know, they're not necessarily anything that I'm personally proud of. There's something that I think asks us to take that moment to interrogate why it is the first this late in the game.
Still 2024, still experiencing firsts.
I mean, it's a little, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
I've heard you talk about your relationship with Ingenue for this as the most intellectually rigorous actor collaboration. How so?
Well, Ingenue Ellis Taylor's mind is a brilliant one, and she also is fearless. And we had a relationship in which we were very open with one another in terms of what we both needed. And so there were times where she said, you know, this line I don't quite get. And usually as a director, I'll say, this is what it means. And okay, I got it, I'll figure it out. She said, yeah, I still don't get it. Would you want to rewrite it? Do you want to take a look at this a little bit closer? And so it was that kind of collaboration and pushing. We looked at the material. There were things we both agreed with, things we disagreed with, even within the book, disagreed with each other. And so we're constantly on the set pushing and pulling each other to get to a place where we were trying to figure out how to make this very kind of monumental concept of caste accessible.
I want to be in the story. Really inside the story.
What does it mean to get that Oscar buzz or not for a project that you know is great?
I've really had to wrestle with this year the fact that this film, being with a very tiny, you know, distributor, not with the Netflixes and the Warner Brothers and the places that I've been with in the past, does not have the muscle to be seen as widely. And so this film has not had those, that awards buzz and glitter because of many reasons. And I've had to grapple with myself as to how I feel about that, and had to really put my work in its proper place and understand for myself what matters to me. And so it's been an illuminating time for me to kind of check myself, really in the same way with David Oyelowo and not being nominated for Selma. I feel the same way about Ingenue Ellis Taylor and not having kind of light on her for this transcendent performance. But no one's talking about with David Oyelowo what he didn't get with Selma. They just talk about what a performance it is. Time will tell. And so I believe that this film will be one that lasts, and that makes me really proud.
Our thanks to Lindsay Davis for that. Origin is now showing in theaters nationwide. And that's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com. Good night.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start Here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen, wherever you get your podcasts. From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
Look up. There's got to be something out there.
We were shocked